Hey everybody. So I got a special guest in the shop with me today. I got my daughter with me, my youngest daughter. I'm going to start teaching her how to do some wood turning today so she can start working on one of her projects. But I know you all been waiting for the demolding of those pen blanks from last week. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and demold. So we're going to release the pressure. So you guys might get two videos out of this today. One is going to be me demolding, cutting, and getting them drilled. So that way we can start gluing in the brass tubes in there. So we'll get the brass tubes done. And then that way you'll be able to see how everything is really done to get to a pen. There's more work involved in these than what you really think. And I mean, especially if you're pouring your own blanks, which I like to do. I like to pour my own, or I like to pick my own piece of wood because I like it more because it's more personalized to who you're giving it to or who's buying it from you. So. Oh, and let's take a peek. Oh my God, they turned out awesome. Look at that. Woo! All right. So we'll take these little rubber nibs off because this is how we're going to get these little bad boys out. And give it a couple of love taps. And then just a small push. There you go. Look at that. Look at those. Those came out absolutely awesome. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sit down. And I think I can do probably both of these at the same time. But, so what I'm going to do is I take the tubes. They're in two pieces. So I kind of lay them out on my blank. I figure out where they need to be. I put a little mark. And then basically what I do is I square it up, which I could have swore I had my square laying here, which I don't. So we're going to cheat, and I'm going to use, I'll just use a straight edge. That's all I really need. So I straight edge it. We're going to do the same to this one. And I'm not too worried about the stuff on the outside because that'll either A, get turned off, or I'll run it through the sander real quick and just kind of grind them down to where I need them. But what I try to do is I try to space these so that I'm not wasting a whole bunch, but yet I still have enough. And yes, my pencil broke. And I always have a backup. Okay. I'll put these little rubber nibs back in because I don't want to lose these. Because then your resin pours out the bottom. And that's bad. That's very bad. Because I've forgotten to put them in. And that's very, very bad. Alright, so we're going to come over to the bandsaw real quick. And I still have a piece left over, so I'll be able to make another one. So then we'll just kind of line that up before I start up the saw. And then okay, that's ready to be drilled. also ready to be drilled. Now, I do like to keep the pair that I have. I don't like to mix and match, because basically what ends up happening is if you mix and match, your colors won't come back to exactly being the same. Even on the wood, your grain pattern won't line up. So that way, when you put the pen together after you've got everything done, it won't line up very well and won't look as nice. So now we just come over here. I cheat. I basically go from corner to corner. And yes, I usually have like a whole bunch of pencils over here, and I do, see? I have pencils stashed everywhere in the shop. So basically I find my center, so I go corner to corner, and then the heater kicks on. It is a little cold, it's rainy, and it's probably only about 57 degrees outside right now, so it's not the greatest. So it's a good day to be in the shop. So I'll be working on these today. I will do another video. So today, right now, all you're going to get is me getting these drilled and finding centers like that. I'll also do these other two real quick, because once I do this, I'm just going to go ahead and let it rip. I'll drill all of these at the exact same time. For that one. And what I like to do is I like to punch these, because it just gives my drill bit a spot to be able to go down inside. That one lined up just perfect right on a piece of that aluminum. So we're going to find my little tiny hammer. Okay, you like that? I have another little tiny hammer, but I like this one better. Okay, there's center to that one. Takes a very steady hand to hold it right there in the center while you beat on it. Go. Hey, look, the heater's, it's telling me that it's starting to warm up in the shop. At least I'm not freezing. Yeah, I get to teach my daughter today how to do some wood turning. She's got a project she wants to kind of do, so I'm actually going to start working with her and teaching her how to do it. I don't know if I should teach her with the old tools, the way I learned how to do it, or if I'll start her out on the carbide tipped ones, which the carbide tips, you can pretty much start out with carbide tips and you're going to be a perfect turner every time. So, and I went to the carbide tips just due to the fact of some of the stuff that I'm starting to turn now, it actually turns way easier with carbide than it does with the old-fashioned tools. So, all right, I know just by off the top of my head that these are going to be a 7mm blank. And we're going to take the stops off because I was doing some drilling earlier that required me to have a stop, so I didn't go all the way through. And we are off kilter. So you got to make sure that this thing lines up dead center in your chuck. There we go. And then what I like to do to check it, to make sure that I'm good, is I like to start it. I make sure the drill bit's not wobbling at all, because it's very, very bad. And then I cheated. I bought myself a pen blank holder, so that way I didn't have to hold it. I didn't have to rip up my hands anymore, which is good. It's always a bonus when you have all your fingers. And for as long as I've been doing woodworking, I still have all my fingers. All right, here we go. Let's raise this up because I got to go all the way through the blank. And these really have to be precise when you're drilling them, because if you're not, your tube, if you get your tube in there and it's at a wobble, then when you load it on your pen mandrel, which I'll show you tomorrow, it'll be at a semi weird angle, and then you're basically taking off too much on one side and not enough on the other side. So then you get an oblong style pen, which is not bad if you like that kind of design, but I like mine round, and I like to do the design myself. So that's really key. Going kind of slow, back it out, let it clear its tailings. So you're always clearing your stuff, especially with this aluminum honeycomb inside. You don't want that to heat up either, because then you can destroy your resin, which I don't like to do either. So the resin I'm using is the Alumilite, which the last set of bottles that I bought, it's a two-part resin. It's a part A and a part B, and each one of those 1 gallon bottles are $100 a piece. So $100 for part A, $100 for part B. So I try not to mess up when I'm doing the resin stuff. And look at that, we're all the way through. And we're centered. That's amazing. And yeah, so some of that stuff with the little maybe overpours. And I told you the overpours, you didn't care if you had the overpour. You can clean it up enough to get it into your stuff, so not a big deal. Just clean it up and put it in. And sometimes I get too much resin buildup in there, so then I can't see where my stuff is at. There we go. That's better. I'm probably only going to show you this one, and then I'll do the other ones off camera, but tomorrow I will show you how I go about getting getting it all put together and put on the lathe so that I can actually start turning. And then, oh, I gotta show you guys one more thing. So they have this yew wood, which has properties for reducing cancer risk. So you guys will have to go out, go online. I'm giving you a homework project. Go out, go check out yew wood. The wood has a chemical in it that will help with cancer. So, not that I have any, or not that I need it, but my sister and my brother-in-law sent me a really nice piece of yew wood. So I'll show you that here in just a second. Let's make sure that these guys are good. All right, so these are good. These are ready to go. So basically now what all I got to do is put my tubes in. So basically now what I'll do is I'll mix up some epoxy. I'll do this other one in a minute, but we'll go over and we'll get the epoxy. And since we're going back over this direction, I think my yew wood is laying right here because I kind of cleaned it up a little bit. Here's the yew wood. It has got a very, very pretty grain. And this is the one that my sister and my brother-in-law sent me. I think this is going to turn out so, so cool. I mean, look at that. The grain pattern, the knots, I got it cleaned up enough. I still have to finish cleaning it up just a little bit more. So basically what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to take and cut this thing in half, exactly right here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get, I've got a mold. So I'm going to take a mold and I'm going to put this down inside of there. I'm going to have half yew wood and half resin. And then, yes, you know who you are. You're going to pick my colors for me. So I'm going to have you pick a couple of colors. And then on the other one, I haven't told him. He's going to pick the other set of colors. And I'm going to do 2 bowls out of those. And we'll see how they turn out. So, but let's get back to this pin blank. This pin blank is going to be kind of fun. I think this blue is going to turn out. This blue, I mean, look at the flecks. I mean, you can just see the flecks in there. The light blue, the dark blue. So this was Maui and Midnight that I used. And he picked a couple of really beautiful colors. I'm very partial to blue myself, so I just use a 2-part epoxy. And then you got to mix it. All right, camera lady, how many minutes are we at now?
About 19.
Oh, look, I might beat my 26-minute video last week. So I had a hard time getting it loaded, and I apologize. I thought that the reel part of it would post the entire thing. The reel does not post it all. It only takes like a 2-minute clip. So I am sorry to tease you. Actually, I'm not sorry that I teased you. It just made you come and check out my video. So, it was kind of fun. I like to tease. So, all right. So, these brass tubes are very smooth and very slick. So, I have a piece of sandpaper. Well, the stuff that I actually use for doing my pens, which I don't have sitting there. So let me just grab a little piece here real quick. And we got it. So what we want to do is we want to scuff these up so that the glue or the resin or the epoxy will actually adhere. So I just take them and I'm going to do the cheater thing. I forgot about my cheater thing. So I have a pin inserter, which actually just helps me insert these tubes so that once I get them on, all put together that I can stick them inside the blank without getting all gooey. Okay, there's the first one. I'm gonna do the second one. I should have probably done this before, but I didn't. And it won't stay. But basically, all I'm going to do is put a bunch of scratches on it so that the glue or epoxy will stick to it. So here we go. So you take your epoxy after you've got it all mixed up, put it on. Covering all of the tube. And then sticking it in. What I like to do is go in kind of slow. And then I have a razor blade for trying to clean off the excess so that I don't have to worry about trying to do that later. Okay, so I'm not going to push it like all the way down, but I'm going to push it far enough so that way when I go back, because I'm going to have to let this sit now, and then the barrel trimmer, I'll do the barrel trimming tomorrow and get it chucked up on the lathe tomorrow. So the barrel trimmer basically goes down inside the tube, takes it down to the tube, which I'll show you tomorrow. So we're going to do this next one. Twist it all the way down inside. I get to the point where it's just about ready to go in. Clean off the excess. That way it makes it easier to go back in with the barrel trimmer. That way I'm not trying to clean glue. And a pencil sharpened up will push that tube down inside just perfect enough where you have to just clean it a little bit and you're done. All right. So that's all it takes to get that part of it put together. Now the next part will be to let those sit for 24 hours. You should be able to come back out tomorrow and do the barrel trimming on them and get them squared away so that I can get them chucked up and get them on the lathe. So now I am going to let you guys go, and I am going to go teach my daughter how to do some wood turning today. So you guys have a fun, safe day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.